Hi everyone, it's Jeanette here from the Sewing Studio. Really excited because we've got block one of our block of the month. It's the Quillow. So we're going to get started today, but before I do, I just wanted to point out some other additional information that we've provided for you, and it's just these general instructions, and in it, it's just some basic instructions for how to make the different units that we're going to be doing that are going to be used across all 13 blocks. Now, it doesn't have any specific sizes, it's just the technique of making that particular unit, because what we'll do for each block is give you the specific measurements that you need for each individual block. I hope that makes sense. So you've got that also as a reference, particularly if you're a beginner quilter. If you're a seasoned quilter, you're probably going to know most of these things anyway. There's nothing that's overly complicated. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible, but also making some nice stunning blocks. So you can be referring to that. And we're going to start today with the simplest blocks of all, and that's going to be the 4 patches and the half square triangles. So that's what block one is going to be using. So for me, to help me along, I've got my general instructions. I've got my little swatch page, which tells me all my different fabrics with the code. That's going to be key throughout all of these blocks here, particularly if you're going to be using different fabrics, you're going to know which fabric goes where. But of course, you know, have permission to creative play. This is your quilt, this is your project. You do what you want and how you best see this looking. This is just a suggestion from me, if you like. Now, the other thing just to say, before I started cutting into my background fabric, I have done this general cutting instruction, and it's an initial one. It doesn't give you how to cut all of the background pieces out, but before I started cutting anything, because I'm using 60 inches, so for us that's sort of 1.5 meters, this fabric is also going to be used in border number 1. But I don't need that full 6 inches. So before I began, I just took a 10-inch strip off the top and I cut that into a 5-inch strip and 2 2.5-inch strips. And then I cut my border pieces parallel to the selvage. So normally we go across the width from selvage to selvage. This time I'm running parallel to the selvage. So I'm going down the fabric. So down what is left, which is the 50 inches. Because the longest piece we need for that border number 1 is 48.5 inches. So it just makes the efficiency of our fabric just a little bit simpler. Now, if you don't do that, it's not a big issue. You can cut across your width of fabric, but you will have to piece 2 of your borders. So you'll have to join 2 strips together to make that work at the end. So if you want to do that, and if you want to follow that, that's absolutely fine. Now, the other reason for cutting parallel to the selvage is because there's actually less stretch there. So if you suffer with sort of wonky borders, the fabric will be a little bit more stable running parallel to the selvage. So quite often people will cut their borders parallel to the selvage, and it helps with a nice flatter border. So hopefully that's a sort of top tip, but like I say, completely optional. If you don't want to cut it like that, that's absolutely fine, but I've put it there for you just in case you do. Okay, so cutting the fabric, I've had a little clear out and we're going to talk about cutting the fabric. Now, as I said, we've put together some cutting diagrams, and that's just to ensure that you get all the pieces you need from each of your fat quarters. Now, there are a couple of fat quarters where it runs quite close, but generally you should have sort of lots of extra. But what I didn't want to happen is for, you know, nearer the end, people need a 6-inch square, and then all of a sudden you haven't got a 6-inch piece of fabric left to cut it from. So that's why I've given cutting diagrams, and I've tried to keep it so that you're cutting sort of a 5-inch strip, and then you'll get loads of subcuts from that. So let me just put that under the camera. And if I just grab my 1A stack of fabric, so you can see here I've started cutting, but I haven't cut it all, every single piece, because then I've got to keep track of every single piece. So what I'm doing is just cutting enough for a block at a time, labelling that as block 1, and then sort of setting that aside. And this is efficiency. You know, you cannot label them, but then you're going to have to keep measuring. Is that my 3.5-inch strip? Is that my 4-inch strip? And there's quite a few different sizes. So that's my suggestion, is just cut it into your strips and then subcut as you need it per block, unless you do want to sort of cut it all and put it into little bags and keep it all together, all labelled. But that's what I'm going to be doing, just like this. And then as I'm working through, I can just grab the fabrics I want, cut the sizes from the strips I need, and hopefully all will be good. So that's, I think, all I need to say. And of course, I'm using my swatch page as well to keep myself on top of that. So I'm just going to put all of that there. That's my little bit of background that I've got left from cutting my 5-inch and 2.5-inch pieces. So let's go back to our block number 1. And we're going to be following the same format for each of the blocks. So this block is actually called Turnstile. No, it's not. It's called Water Wheel. And it's a Friendship Star block, which is one of my favourite blocks, with 4 patches. So we're just going to be making half square triangles and 4 patches. So what we're going to need is 2 squares, 5-inch squares of background, 1 of our 1A fabric, so for me that's this one, and 1 of our 1B, so for me that's that one. And then for the 4 patches and for the centre of the Friendship Star, we've got all of our 2.5-inch squares. I'm not going to go through all of them individually, but you need 8 background, actually she says, and then she's going to. We'll be thorough on the first one maybe, and then. So I've got 8 background, 4 4B. Now let me refer to my swatch page. No, so for me, 4B is the green script. So I should have 4 of those. 4 3A. So 3A for me is this floral. 2 4A. So for me, that's this floral. And then 2 2B. So for me, that's this yellow dot. Now I should also say the fabric I'm using is called Acorn Hollow, and it's by Basic Grey for Moda. So that's all the pieces we're going to need. Now those squares are done. They're ready for our 4 patches. So I'm going to start by making my half square triangles. Now I'm just going to move my paper up there. So my 2 half square triangles, and it's just the 2 at a time method. I'm just going to be pairing up my print fabric with my background squares. I'm going to draw a line. I'm actually going to do it on the background because it'll be easier to see. Corner to corner once. I'll do it with my long ruler. And then we're going to stitch 1/4 inch either side of that line. Okay, let's take those to the sewing machine. So once we've sewn those, we're going to cut those apart on the drawn line, and then I'm going to take them to the iron and just press them back. So that's all of those pressed open. Now we're going to square them up to 4.5 inches. So this is where we need our smaller square ruler. And I'm just going to line up that 45-degree line on the seam and then just make sure that I'm going to do 4.5 inches. Now this is actually quite straight on 2 of the sides, so I'm just going to take a little bit off on the sides. If you want to give yourself a little bit more room, because there's not a lot that's going to come off this, you can just do a scant, what we call a scant 1/4 inch, and all that means is slightly narrower than your 1/4 inch. And all I do if I'm going to do that is instead of the bar going along the line, I'll just sort of take it to the other outside edge, if that makes sense. But there, you should get your 4.5 from that. Okay, but you can see that's all that's come off that, so there's not a huge amount of wiggle room. So I'm just going to square up all 4 of those exactly the same way. So we've done the half square triangles. I've just tidied up, so we're just going to concentrate on the 4 patches now. So for the centre 4 patch, we're going to take our fabrics, which are our 2B and our 4As. So it's the one that we just cut 2 of each of them. And we're going to just put them together like so. So I'm just going to pin those because I'm going to take all of these 4 patch to the machine and just chain piece them all through. And all chain piecing means is you just carry on sewing one after the other without cutting your thread in between. So we're going to put a pin in there, and I tend to sort of poke it at the corner I need to start sewing. On a 4-patch, it's not so much of a problem, but sometimes when you've got blocks that sort of twist and turn, I can quite often get confused which way it needs to sew. Now for our 4 patches that are going to go into the corners, we're going to make 4 of them. They're each going to consist of 2 background squares. Now I should also say the background fabric I'm using is a grunge and it's called Natural. So it's just a really nice sort of neutral. So we've got 1 4B square, so for me that's my green script, and a 3A, which for me is the pink floral. So we're going to make 4 units that all look exactly the same. I'm going to take those to the machine and sew. So I'm just going to pin all of these and then I'll meet you at the sewing machine. Now one thing to say while I'm at the sewing machine, please do test the accuracy of your 1/4 inch seam. Now the way I do it is I put together 2 2.5 inch squares, and then when you press them open that should measure 4.5. Now it's going to be particularly useful or beneficial for this project, particularly when we get into some of the later blocks that have got a lot more units, to make sure that all our blocks are coming out at the same size. Now once you got it to this place, you could take it to the iron and press them open. I tend to just finger press them, to be honest. So I'm just going to press that seam, and I'm actually going to press it under the yellow fabric. It doesn't really matter with the centre one, it doesn't match up with anything. And then we're going to put them opposite. Those seams should nest now because we've pressed them both under the yellow fabric. I'm just going to place a pin just there, just to hold that, and then we're going to turn those 2 little squares into our 4 patch. So I'm just going to give that a press. Now I've just pressed that, so all my seams are going in the same direction, and what that does is it opens up that centre, so you haven't got so much bulk there. It just makes it sort of a nice flatter unit. So that's how we make the 4 patch. I'm going to finish off making the other 4, and then we'll have a look at how to put the block together. Okay, so to lay it out, we've got our centre 4 patch there, and then I've got my half square triangles made from my 1A fabric, and they go at the top and bottom like so, and then my other fabrics, which are my 1B, go like so to form the friendship star, and then our corner 4 patches just sort of rotate round, but just watch the colour placement because I have done it. So you can see here sort of if you look at the pink block, it's sort of moving one position each time as it sort of rotates round. So it goes like that. Now also to say, I haven't done much around directional fabrics. Now technically some of my script fabric here is directional, but I don't worry about which direction it's going in. You know, you never see a quilt just from one angle anyway, so I don't worry too much. You may have to consider that if you've got sort of birds or something on it. You may not want birds flying upside down, but like I say, mine's not overly directional on this. So once we've got it laid out like so, we're just going to put it together in rows. So I always do right onto left. So my middle row is going to go onto my first row. I'm going to take that to the machine, do a 1/4 inch all the way down, and then we're going to add our 3rd block, and then we're just going to put the rows together. So let's do that. So there it is. Now I'm going to press my seams of my centre row here towards the half square triangles. And then on this block, the same again. So these seams are going out and my top and bottom rows, my seams are going in. Now I just tend to finger press. You can take it to the iron, but sort of the word of warning is the more heat and movement you put on things, the more likely it is you might be stretching your fabrics out. So I tend to press my block more at the end. And you can also see I haven't cut the threads in between, so it's keeping all my pieces in place. I'm not going to get my pieces out of order. So now those seams are going in opposite directions. So where they meet, I'm going to be able to just nest those together. And I just do it, let me put that under the close-up. I just do it by just sort of rubbing them together, and you can feel when they're nice and flat. So let me just put a pin there. And a pin there. And we'll finish by sewing the rows together. And there is our block number 1, which is called Water Wheel. So that should come out at 12.5 inches. Now I'm going to just make all my blocks and then measure them to make sure they come out all the same size at the end. But if you want to do it as you go along, that's absolutely fine. Now, if you find your blocks are coming out slightly different size, you can sort of go down to the lowest common denominator. But like I say, we're going to have different seams in different blocks. So there may be some variations. So please do make sure you check your accuracy of your 1/4 inch. I have done a tutorial on how to do that, so we'll put a link to that because that might be helpful, particularly for beginner sewers, to have a look at that before you begin. But there's our block number 1. Really pleased to get that one done, so we can tick off the first one, and please join us again for block number 2. Thanks for your time today, and please do join us again here in the sewing studio.